Hot Blonde, one of our most talked about introductions, one of our earliest introductions, actually before I was in the nursery industry. My dad got this one grafted around 94. So this one was before, I was still helping him, but I wasn't doing this full time back then. We got Jade Dragon returning for some folks. Now this is going to be a popular one.
Yeah, I mean, this one right here, man, is so cool. I love, you know, we just talked about today, we did a podcast on what makes a cultivar collectible. Sometimes it's the stories. I love hearing the story about your dad, kind of in the beginning of MrMaple as we know it now. It was Nichols Nursery back then. But, you know, one of those trees that stood out to him enough where he's like, hey, you know, I need to get this in production, get it out there. It's got a lot of unique characteristics. I mean, it kind of has that like Shishigashira vibe with a little bit of like Sharp's Pygmy mixed in it. I mean, there's so many cool characteristics with this tree. I love the dwarf Japanese maple, man.
So this one's a unique one. There was a gentleman here in Hendersonville, and his name was Robert Jackman. And Robert Jackman, there wasn't a lot of people online back then. Like, but this is before the internet days, right? So my dad had to go and make friends that grafted and talk to people. And Robert Jackman was a collector here in Hendersonville in the 90s, and he found this either as a seedling or as a mutation. We don't really know. I think he found it as a seedling, as the story goes, off of Shishigashira. You know, as we're evaluating line cub and some of these new ones, we wonder if it couldn't be a broom as well. So I wasn't around to find that out, but I know this variation came off of Shishigashira. Really unique plant here. Robert Jackman originally introduced us into the trade, got my dad to graft it, didn't get into the trade much because we were just selling at tailgate markets. So we weren't really selling this one out. And it had the name Roja Busa. So Robert Jackman, Ro-J-O Busa. And the reason that, so Jackman, J-A, R-O-J-A Busa. It's actually still at the J.C. Ralston, that name. I tell them to change all the time. The reason that was so confusing, of course, Spanish for red, Roja. Roja Yetsubusa makes no sense with this beautiful green. Once I got in the nursery trade, I was like, Dad, this is a cool tree. But we've got to get this name correction fixed. This can't go out in the trade as Roja. Everybody's like, Roja, it's green. That doesn't make any sense. So we went and tracked down Mr. Jackman, and my brother actually went in and talked to him and said, hey, Matt proposes a name change on this one because it's very confusing. What do you think about Jade Dragon? I love it. You know, Jade Dragons are often traded kind of like as this gift of a significance of a time frame. So it's like a birth. Maybe you'd give somebody a Jade Dragon to kind of commemorate that. So this smaller compact tree that's perfect for bonsai kind of fit that Jade Dragon aesthetic, being a more compact tree here. So cleaned up that name a little bit better for the trade there, Jade Dragon. No Roja going on here. Amazing density to this one. It is smaller than things like Kiyohime. It is even much smaller than things like Goshiki Kotohime and those styles, so it stays smaller in those long term. Perfect for bonsai, great for rooted cuttings, great for air layers. These are grafted, but you can always get it in the ground. The very first graft off of this is actually still my parents' landscape, and it's been in the ground over 25 years. That tree's maybe 3.5 feet tall, so it stays really nice and dense.
Yeah, super tight, dense, compact habit. I love that about this. I'm just sitting here looking at this one. I love how it just shoots these little pillars up as it's young, putting those nice, vigorous growth out there. But yeah, as it slows down and starts to fill out, man, the density of it just looks so amazing. I love that kind of bonsai-esque feeling that you get on those younger trees. Just when you see that structure and that tight layered habit. I mean, this thing right here, I mean, these are going to fly off the shelf. I know that for a fact. I'm sitting here, you tell me all the time, if I didn't sell Brian a tree, I ain't doing something right. I'm sitting here looking at this like, man, this thing might have to come home with me.
That's a beautiful one, man. Very interesting plant, too. Our first introduction here at MrMaple Nichols Nursery, and actually the reason we call it the Area 51 collection, because back in the day, you know, we were cleaning things up. We're like, Dad, we're going to try to get a name going on this one that makes sense for the trade. We had a couple of big ones of these in a greenhouse probably around 2008. And I went to a garden show, and there were two of them in the greenhouse. One that matches the one out here, the first grafts. And my dad sold it. When we got back, the tree was gone. He said, guys, I sold that big old tree you had for like 70 bucks. I'm like, Dad, that was only two of those. So that's how Area 51 came about. That's how we made an Area 51, and we said no one gets in or out of here without clearance. And we took all the new evaluations to Area 51. So this tree kind of gets attributed for creating the Area 51 because we couldn't let any more of them sneak off on us without getting into production.
Yeah, if you guys want to get one of the like OG MrMaple introductions here, man, pick one of these Jade Dragons up today.